It all started with a bunch of blood parasites, and I cannot recommend it. The way we were treated in this hospital,
it was ridiculous.
not very pleasant. They don't always love each other. HIV,
many,
hepatitis A, hepatitis C.
and then now Penang is not too many people already.
I cannot say it's good morning.
How much do you think healthcare should cost? And should you always be tied to insurance to get appropriate healthcare? There is a way to getting good quality healthcare without having any insurance and without losing the last shirt off your back. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Elitka channel, a channel about the digital nomad lifestyle. My name is Martin, and I've been living in Da Nang, Vietnam with my wife Masha for the past 2 years. We're about to embark on another one of our workations. This is what we do. I mentioned that in my first video. This time around, however, we're going to Malaysia, and the purpose of this trip is we're going to the hospital to do a full medical checkup. Malaysia was recommended to us as a country with an optimal price-quality combination as far as medical services go. Some friends, also digital nomads, recommended the Adventist Hospital in Penang specifically. We checked it out online, and Masha got in touch with them about a month before this trip. We made a few doctor's appointments and registered for our physical checkups, or wellness screenings as they call it. Now we're about to get a grab taxi to the airport, but before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for a lot more on nomad life. So we just left our home here in Da Nang and are going to the airport, which is just a few minutes away. This is one of the things I really like about living in Da Nang, is that the airport is within city limits, which is great. So there's two of us. Hi.
Hey.
All right, let's see how this trip goes. It so happens that one of my favorite places in Asia is also located in Penang, Georgetown. We had actually lived in Malaysia for about a month before, in KL, Kuala Lumpur, which we didn't like much, but we did visit a couple of places outside of KL, Malacca and Georgetown. They share a UNESCO heritage entry for Malaysia, but weirdly enough, they're pretty far apart. Now, Malacca is a very cool place to visit, but Georgetown is next level, so this was a huge bonus. Now, Malaysia is a land of three completely different cultures: Malay, Chinese, and Tamil. They don't always love each other, but they do coexist and share centuries of common history. As a result, Malaysia is a unique blend of the three, having more recently also been a Portuguese, Dutch, and British colony, all of which results in incredible ethnic, cultural, gastronomical, and architectural diversity. Georgetown is an especially good example of this. But let's get back to the main reason we're here. How you doing?
Sleepy.
Huh?
I'm sleepy.
Sleeping, me too. So we're in Malaysia. This is Georgetown. You got this Asian haze, Southeast Asian haze. I don't know how well you can see it. Actually looks kind of clear on the phone, but I can see it out in the distance right there. Pretty hazy. Looks kind of good though. So we're gonna go to the hospital and get a bunch of tests done, and yeah, let's go see what it's like. What? So in this apartment, we're on the 40th floor, and there's only like 2 elevators. So sometimes it takes a while to wait. Yeah. Oh, looks like this one's coming, so. But that's why the view's so good. It does take a while to get out of the house here because these 2 elevators can sometimes stop on almost every floor, so waiting can take up to 15 minutes. Also, the hospital's a little bit further out of Georgetown, and I booked an apartment in an area that I thought was pretty close. But I misjudged the distance. It's about 2 kilometers away. Normally, walking 2 kilometers isn't a big deal for us, but in Malaysia, it is. It's really hot. So it's taxi time. In most Southeast Asian countries, the main taxi app is called Grab. This is a must-have if you travel to countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, or Singapore. Normally it's very convenient and the drivers are super responsive. However, since this area is a bit far out of town, drivers take a while to respond, taking about another 15 minutes to arrive, which is a lot longer than most Asian cities. Plus, Malaysia is one of those places that has much fewer motorbikes and more cars, which also means traffic, unfortunately. At this point, our appointment is just in a few minutes, so I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna make it on time.
Alright, so we just got dropped off and at this hospital. Well, let's see.
Right before the entrance to this hospital, there is a wall outlining its 100-year history. The hospital is actually exactly 100 years old as of 2024. I read up about it later, and as I found out, it even has a Wikipedia page, which also mentions how the hospital remained open even during the Japanese occupation of Penang during World War II. By the way, I feel that I should mention this. This video is not a collaboration or advertisement of this hospital or any other businesses mentioned or shown here in any way. Everything we talk about in this video is simply our first-hand experience and our impressions thereof. Now that I got that out of the way, we arrived and registered ourselves before our doctor visits.
Patient's information, name, passport number, date of birth, and address. You guys are from...
Our first day consisted of visiting a few doctors. There's not much to say about the visits themselves, other than the first impression of the hospital and the doctors is very pleasant. The only downside was the waiting times. We did have to wait for quite a bit. So, it's a good clinic. I really liked the doctors. Both of them, I went to two. Both of them were very charming. But the biggest downside is the waiting times. Like the first one, I waited for just over an hour. The second one, I think I waited about 40 minutes for. Masha was waiting for like an hour. I think she should tell her own story of how she was waiting. But at least we got done what we wanted to get done in the first day. We have another day of this tomorrow. So I'm gonna switch it over to Masha and let her tell the story.
Actually, there is a queue, like a digital queue, and I was called on time. They invited me to ultrasound room, gave me some clothing to dress, and sitting in that clothing under very strong air AC, I spent like 45 minutes waiting a doctor. So it was ridiculous. I got annoyed a little bit. But yeah, finally everything is okay. And I got my duplex scan of my veins, and everything is okay, and I'm happy to hear it.
How's the doctor?
The doctor is very, very nice person, very charming, and yeah.
So let's see how much it all cost. Got this bag that says confidential, and I'm going to share some confidential information with you guys. So let's check it out. I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, otherwise known as an otolaryngologist. Yeah, I think I got that right. What he did, he just kind of got a look at my ear, nose, and throat, and did a small procedure, which is clean out my earwax. Not very pleasant, but very effective. And what I did like about it was the equipment that he had. So he had a, I have no idea what the terminology here is, but he had like a screening thing using which he like, probe my ears, and it had a camera on it, and there was a screen right in front of me, so I could see what the inside of my nose and the inside of my ears look like. Not a pleasant sight, but very educational. So that whole thing, the screening, the consultation, and the ear cleaning, that cost me 372 Malaysian ringgit. So let's count. 372 ringgit. This includes the doctor consultation and the procedure. 372 ringgit to USD. I'm just using Google. That is worth roughly $79 American. All right, $79 for the first visit. My second visit, this was a vascular surgeon. I have a little thing on my elbow that I wanted to have looked at, and that cost me only 82 ringgit. There was nothing special, just the consultation itself with a very pleasant gentleman, the doctor, and that cost me 88 ringgit, which is only $18.76. So 20 bucks for a doctor visit. And then my wife Masha, she also went to the same doctor, the same vascular surgeon, and he did a little ultrasound on her, and his consultation in that case plus the ultrasound cost her 481 ringgit and 50 cents Malaysian. So 3 doctor visits plus a couple of procedures cost us total 102, 77 plus 19, $198 American. The doctors were very pleasant, very professional, and everything was done very well, top-notch quality. Looking forward to do that checkup tomorrow.
Because of the waiting times we experienced, we were a tiny bit uneasy before our second day, because that's when our wellness screening appointments were. Are we gonna have to wait as much? I mean, we're gonna have to not eat for the whole day. But we decided to worry about that tomorrow.
So we took Grab to Georgetown and spent the evening walking around. Another thing that makes Georgetown unique is the local street art. The old part of the town is full of some really amazing street art installations. Alongside colorful architecture and gorgeous temples, this makes for some real aesthetic pleasure. This incredible place is worth a long visit, and I cannot recommend it enough. And it's very walkable, which is different from most other destinations in Southeast Asia. This was the day of our checkup. We had to do fasting, so no food, no coffee, which is a tragedy for at least one of us.
I haven't had breakfast, I haven't had coffee, so I cannot say it's good morning.
So how come you haven't had breakfast or coffee?
Because we go to do a checkup and we're supposed to fast.
What kind of checkup?
Medical checkup.
Okay.
And we're supposed to fast, not like to do it on empty stomach. So.
Are you gonna get angry?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I should stay away from you.
We were in a bit of a hurry because we came towards the end of the registration, which I think was about 9, but it ended up being okay. They handed us a bunch of paperwork to fill out, including a lifestyle questionnaire. After that, we were handed a checklist of everything that we were going to do today. I will mention every procedure in more detail later in the video. It all started with a bunch of blood tests and physical measurements, and then I just went down the list. But the most interesting parts were the treadmill stress test and the lung test.
Breathe in through nose. Squeeze inside your mouth and blow. Yes. Okay, so you do incorrect. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop.
Okay.
So, like this. Put inside your mouth. One shot, blow and strong. Okay, do again. Wait. Okay, breathe in through nose. Okay, breathe in through nose. Put inside your mouth and blow. Okay, cannot. You need to focus.
Also, we were touched when, while waiting for the chest x-ray, nurses gave Masha a blanket to cover herself with because she was cold under the ACs, despite the "I'm from Siberia" t-shirt. That was super sweet of them, and we are really thankful.
So, I'm done with mine. I'll get the results tomorrow, I'm guessing. I got some food on it right there. But, yeah, we're sitting in the cafeteria. Some vegetarian meals. Masha's done too. So, what's your first impression?
I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and actually, it's very organized.
Yeah.
And it took like 5 hours total. Yeah, including my MRI, which takes like 40 minutes. So I think I'm pretty satisfied.
Let's eat.
Yeah.
This all went on a lot faster than the day prior to that, and involved a lot less waiting. We paid on the spot and went home. Took it easy this evening. I had some work to do anyway. We'll find out our results tomorrow. Yes, it's that fast. You don't have to wait for months or even weeks. Skipping ahead, we were a little surprised by our results. On the third day, we went to the hospital again to collect our results and have a conversation with the lovely Dr. Ha that basically confirmed that we are doing everything right in life, for once. I will share the costs in more detail in just a few minutes, but before then, we had a bunch of things to do, like go to the gym. In any country, if we go for, some time, we look for a gym to keep active, and it's always fun to find places, find different gyms, see what kind of quality they offer, see what kind of features they offer, because like in Vietnam, for example, it's can be a little different sometimes. Like no AC in a tropical country is a pretty normal thing for Vietnam, but Malaysia generally has good quality gyms, but they can be a little expensive. We're going to a new one this time, and we'll see what it's like. Keeping active is one of our values, because at the age of 40, it's nice to feel much younger. As per our medical analysis, like all the tests that we did, Masha's age, despite the fact that she is 41, almost. Her physical age is about 28, according to the tests. Mine is about 35 or something like that. Yeah. So I blame active lifestyle for this injustice.
So orang 64 ringgit 80 cent.
Okay, no problem. 64 есть? You have 64?
64 80. Please have 60.
I have more.
You need receipt for it?
No, don't worry. No problem. So apparently this is why Masha's physical age is lower than mine, because it was mostly her doing the workouts while I was running around filming. But all jokes aside, we did like this gym a lot. It's called Team Powerhouse Fitness, and it's near the landmark building where we stayed. Afterwards, we went around Georgetown. Walked around town some more, just exploring, and eventually looking for a nice place to have dinner and celebrate our successful trip. While we were looking, we got hit with some rain. Thankfully, most of the town has these covered walkways where you can escape the downpour. So, it can rain in Malaysia anytime of the day, and it's fairly unpredictable. So, having an umbrella is a really good idea, which of course we didn't do. And we bought one at 7-Eleven. Yeah, there you go, there's the logo. Anyway, we did find a few very nice spots to eat here. Of course, we didn't go out just one evening. One thing I forgot to mention about Georgetown is that it is the food capital of Malaysia. Just another reason to come here. Food here is simply incredible. From street food, either national dishes or desserts, to Michelin star dim sum and ridiculously expensive Japanese restaurants. We did splurge a bit and went to some places that make you feel like aristocracy. My personal impression is that the food quality here is generally higher than in most Southeast Asian countries, on average. But of course it depends on where you go and what you have.
Another thing that I personally highly recommend doing is going to a Chinese tea shop. You can have a tea tasting with the owner of any particular tea shop, or sometimes with one of the employees, but it can often result in interesting conversations, aside from tasting some tea. Like, for example, we were asking this young lady about Malaysian holidays.
Like the regular.
Deepawali,
What is that?
Indian New Year.
Okay.
Yeah, and
then you celebrate the Western New Year too?
no,
Like January 1st means nothing?
no. There's Christmas, and then let me check first. Many holiday. So you can see like first day of school holiday.
Wow.
There's many school holiday. It's quite many lah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Lot. Normally they will give the holiday is one week, and then like November, December, well, school holiday also, so it's 1 month more.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's quite many lah, the holiday. And then now Penang is not too many people already. More is go to KL. Because KL is quite bigger.
Yeah.
And then it's city.
And of course, if you do end up going to a Chinese tea shop, don't forget to buy some good tea. Ask around for what's good. Chances are you won't be disappointed and will probably return if you're a tea fan like us. But it's time to show our results and share how much it all cost us. So we are officially finished with our main reason to visit Malaysia this time. And despite the fact that Georgetown is quite lovely, and I love walking around here, it's a beautiful place, but we did come here for a medical checkup first and foremost. So after we did everything, we ran all the tests, did all our doctor visits, I wanted to share what we did and how much it all cost. All right, so let's take a look. We had, here's our checklists for me and for Masha. We did a little different ones. I got her the more expensive package. For me, it was, let's see. So blood tests, urine and stool tests, measuring of vision, blood pressure, height, weight, body fat analysis, so BMI, flexibility test, waist and hip measurements, so like all the physicals, physical examination and doctor consultation, lung function and eye pressure test, so this is like a glaucoma test, and chest x-ray, bone densitometry, and let's see, abdomen and pelvis ultrasound, stress EKG on treadmill, and also I added blood tests for hepatitis A, hepatitis C, HIV, and I'm all negative, yay. And also like test for parasites, and I think that's it. So this is my checklist. And for me, the cost was, let's see, the total cost for everything that I just listed was 1,248 Malaysian ringgit, and this is this much in dollars. So yeah, US dollars, all of that. And this is totally out of pocket without any insurance whatsoever. Yeah, seriously. For Masha, she did, most of it was the same. But let's see, so blood tests, urine and stool tests, all the physical measurements, everything, lung function, eye pressure, HPV. So she has a female patient checklist right here. Mine is a male patient checklist. HPV, chest x-ray, densitometry, MRI of abdomen and pelvis. So this is the most expensive part. Mammogram and breast ultrasound. And the rest was stress EKG on treadmill, and audiometry test. I actually have no idea what that is, but yeah, she got an audiometry test, and the same thing. She also added like Hep A, Hep C, I think Hep C, and HIV test. So obviously both of us are negative, and all of that cost me 2,807 Malaysian ringgit. This is all of it, and this is this much in dollars. Yes. And this is exactly why I really wanted to come to Malaysia to get all of this done. Heard a lot of good things about this hospital that we went to and the quality of Malaysian healthcare, and specifically the price-quality ratio. All right. So to summarize, to say that I'm pleasantly surprised and satisfied is rather an understatement. This probably has been the best medical experience of my life. And part of the pleasant part was paying the bills, because it seriously was not that much. And the quality, the care we were given, the way we were treated in this hospital was, we were treated like human beings, and I have no words, really. This was great. So other than all the tests that I just talked about, oh yeah, okay, I forgot to tack on 22 ringgit for the parasite test for both of us. 22 ringgit, really. And this is this many dollars. Altogether, we spent this much in dollars. And again, I repeat, this was without any insurance. I think this is a success. The total amount of time we spent going to the clinic was, let's see, we arrived on Tuesday. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're kind of running around. And we also had a short visit to do a pap smear for Masha. It was pretty much negligible costs. So I'm not including it in the total. Sunday, so 4 days. We set our appointment like a month in advance, but technically speaking, I guess you could be a walk-in. The friends who recommended this hospital to us did exactly that. They just kind of walked in without doing any appointment. But I think, out of respect for the people who work there, it's a much better idea to get an appointment in advance. So just to reiterate, this was great. And our next major hospital visit, or our next medical checkup, we will come back here to Penang, and most likely we'll come back to this same hospital. And of course, this is definitely not the only reason to visit Penang. It is home to the lovely Georgetown, where we're about to head again before we take off to Singapore. So stick with me and stay nomad.